What up, fam? It's your boy, Boy 2024, streaming to you live. I'm starting a new series, perhaps. Let me know if you want to see more of this. Effed up manga reviews. Over the years, I've collected several, like, really odd and obscure and kind of messed up manga series, and sometimes I just want to talk about it. So let me know if you want to see more episodes like this. But I have this volume here of Pumpkin Night, and I kind of just wanted to talk about it. This is, if you can tell, this is in French. I imported this. The cover's actually, it's one of those rare cases where the cover's nicer than I thought it would be. It's actually kind of shiny. I love this cover here. I just bought a random volume of the series. This is number 6. But I love this cover here where you can see there's the main girl, Naoko. That's what she normally looks like, and then in the knife she's holding up, her Pumpkin Knight persona is reflected in the blade. It's a really cool cover. We'll get to more of this in a minute, but we have a Death Note situation where we have two different authors. We have a writer and an artist. The writer here, Masaya Hokazono, and then the artist here, Seima Taniguchi. That's the reason I bought this book. We have to talk about this artist and his absolutely amazing work on this series. That's the real reason to read Pumpkin Night. But yeah, as you can tell, this is in French. this is an import, and it's funny because when I got it on Amazon for only like $11, you only get like the low res image of what the cover looks like, and like, you know, holding it in your hand, you're like, oh wow, this is actually, it's shiny, like it's actually nicer. I don't know if you can tell, the letters in Pumpkin Night are actually pretty shiny as well, but it's nicer than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, I just kind of wanted at least one volume of the series to like flip through and look at the artwork again. I can't. I obviously don't speak French, but it's a very simple plot, and again, I'm just going through it for the visuals, looking at the pretty artwork, the pretty pictures. But yeah, you probably haven't heard of this series. It did not receive a Western release. I don't think it'll ever receive a North American release. It is an infamous series, known for its very, very graphic violence. And that's why I can't wholly recommend the series to anyone. I mean, first of all, it's very hard to find, but even if you can find it, it's pretty disturbing. It's pretty graphic. I've bookmarked a few pages that I think I can show on YouTube, but yeah, for the most for the most part, I can't really show this on YouTube anyway, because the series is known for her very, very graphic, violent, crazy kills that'll just like blow your mind. Like, I'm flipping through and I kind of have to like turn the page real quick. I'm like, oh, whoa, can't look at that, because I'm a bit squeamish, actually. I'm a bit squeamish, fam. I can't deal with too much violence, actually. I prefer, in general, I prefer my horror to be kind of psychological in nature. I don't really like the graphic, you know, violence of just a girl running around with a knife killing the shit out of people, you know. I mean, if that's your cup of tea, that's your cup of tea. Again, I'm making an exception for this series because of the truly god tier, S tier artwork by Seima Taniguchi. But yeah, let me give you the rundown. And here you go. Here's like the first page. You see what the main girl, Naoko, what she used to look like. She was a pretty young girl, and here's still what she used to look like. You'll see what she looks like now in a second. But the reason she became Pumpkin Knight, this vengeful killer, right? So the author of this manga definitely saw the movie Carrie. Naoko was this pretty young girl that was bullied quite horribly in school, and it just got worse and worse and worse, and it ramped up to a point where there was like a fateful school dance, kind of like in Carrie, but instead of dumping pig's blood on her head, I mean, Carrie got off easy compared to Naoko. So the bullies placed this jack-o'-lantern on Naoko's head, and it was filled with bags of sulfur, and her skin was basically burned off, and she was left horribly disfigured. And she kept the pumpkin on her head to hide her, you know, her scarred face. And then she became this vengeful killer, the Pumpkin Knight, and she took revenge on all of the bullies who wronged her. And that's really the plot. Like, it's a very simple story. Again, I mostly know because of like YouTube video summaries that I've read. This is a volume that takes place later. There's basically, they do like a freaking like a Naruto Shippuden thing where it's like, oh, here's part 1, part 1's over now it's part 2, like this is part 2. So that's a common criticism I've heard of the story, where it did kind of reach its end. I mean, it's a revenge story and she got revenge. You know what I mean? She killed everybody that she wanted to kill, but the manga just kept on going, and that's where we're at now. We're kind of in this weird spot where the manga's just still going. Naoko had previously died or something, and then she just kind of comes back because they start introducing some supernatural elements that people don't really like. I don't know. Anyway, that's enough about the bullshit crazy story. Let's get into the artwork. Oh, and let me mention as well another odd thing about this series. Even if you can find it like fan translated on one of those websites, be prepared. It gets wild because this is a ghost stories situation. If you've heard of that anime, where even the official English dub of ghost stories, they're just having fun. They just go way off script and they just intentionally put in jokes and memes and weird lines of dialogue that weren't in the original script just to be funny. They're like riffing themselves type of thing. The translators of Pumpkin Night did a similar thing. I've read a few chapters in English where you're even if you can find it in English, you're not getting the full effect because you have these graphic horror scenes, but it's kind of ruined by like odd dialogue choices, like they'll just be like "be gone thoughts" or like or like "slap that hoe" or like just obviously dialogue that wasn't in the original Japanese. I know there's one infamous chapter where, for no reason at all, everyone just has a British accent. They all just start, speaking British slang, like "cold blimey bloke" or stuff like that. It was like out of nowhere. Again, just the translators having fun, just being funny, and it's like that's fine, kind of, but it also kind of ruins the horror atmosphere, doesn't it? So anyway, let's kind of flip through. I'll see what I can show you guys. But yeah, so for example, here's one scene I really like, where that's what she looks like now, where she's like the pumpkin of vengeance, the pumpkin knight. She wears like the jack-o'-lantern on her head, and she still keeps the schoolgirl uniform on. But yeah, there's like cop that wronged her in the past. She's like riding a motorcycle. She like jumps off and she like lands on him, and she like skids on his head, slides across the ground. It's a really cool scene. So yeah, he's done, and like again, she has a really cool, scary look to her. I actually love Naoko, so that's the two reasons to read this. Is like the S tier artwork. Yeah, no, she looks so cool. The S tier artwork, and also the Naoko is just entertaining as hell to watch. And yeah, that's a panty shot. So yeah, there's weird, like, again, I can't fully recommend the series. The horror, like the gore goes a little too far, the violence goes too far, and also there's like weird moments of fan service that don't really belong as well. It's a very odd series. You're gonna get a very good sense of that, soon. Let me see, find another page I can show you. So yeah, I do like Naoko. She has like a very like playful personality, even though she's like this sadistic killer. Like you can see right here, like she's like skipping, like la 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 la. She is still a schoolgirl at the end of the day. Like you can even see with her design, like she still wears the uniform. She accessorized. She took the jack-o'-lantern. She put a cute bow on it. She put like little rouge on the cheeks. You know what I mean? So like in her own way, she is still like a Japanese schoolgirl. I don't know. It's fun. It's campy as hell. It's basically like a B horror movie with S tier artwork. That's the best way I can describe it. I don't even fully recommend the series. It's worth a look. It's worth like, this artist really needs more recognition. Deserves more recognition besides Pumpkin Night, which, as far as I can tell, that's the only series so far that person has done. I hope the artist goes on to other things after Pumpkin Night, which is still ongoing, believe it or not. Here's a great scene. Hold on. Here's a great scene where basically this evil doctor lady has kidnapped and captured Naoko. She's like electrocuting her. She's like torturing her. But what's great about it is just the expressions. Like look at that. Look at that. The expressions are 10 out of 10. Like, the expressions are some of the best I've seen in a manga. Like, it's crazy. The artwork is crazy here. And that's still Naoko, by the way. That's what she looks like now when she takes off the pumpkin. Like, again, her face has been horribly scarred. And, yeah, she's bloodthirsty. She's merciless. She's cool. I do like her. She's very scary. I like her. I like her a lot. Again, just as far as like something entertaining to watch, like a serial killer or a slasher villain that's like entertaining to watch. Let's find another good scene. I like this. Here we go. This is just a minor scene, but it's like a flashback where she's talking. That's still Naoko. She was like captured, and she's talking to like the one doctor who was nice to her. And again, yeah, random weird fan service that doesn't really belong. But yeah, this shot here, it's so detailed. Like, look at the shackles, look at her leg, look at the soles at the bottom. The soles of her feet. just really detailed artwork. Like again, I'm flipping through, and each page, it's horrifying me and it's revolting, but it's also, each page is like blowing my mind, like impressing me with how detailed the artwork is. I love it. Is there anything else I can show? One sec. Oh, here we go. So towards the end of the book, this is where it gets really good. So Naoko, again, there she is, Pumpkin Knight. She's really intimidating and scary in her own right. But a new villain pops up that intimidates her. Like, what could possibly scare Naoko? You know what I mean? What's scarier than Pumpkin Knight? Here we go. His name is Babyface. Who is, I don't know, I guess some kind of experiment or something, but he's basically a giant person with like super strength, but still the mental age of a child, like a mentally a baby. Oh, tu es un bébé. Yeah, I'm gonna see that in my nightmares. That's freaking horrifying. So yeah, if you want to know what can scare Naoko, yeah, this certainly can. This scared me. Holy shit. And then one last scene I want to show you guys. There's so much I can't show you. This is all the death scenes are so too much, over the top. Here we go. So basically, long story short, Naoko is trying to escape this facility, and there's like this steel door she can't get past. But she's clever. Like, she basically taunts Babyface, and she's like, "Oh, you know, come and get me, and try and get me." And Babyface is doing like the JoJo, like he does like the rapid fire punch, and she's fast. She dodges all of them, and she's tricking him into punching the door for her. And again, the art, the action sequences are 10 out of 10. Like, all of the action is so good in this. Like, holy shit. She just like vaults over his punch there. And then, yeah, again, he's letting loose a flurry of punches, and she's just dodging like a boss. She's so cool. Like, the artwork is so good here. The action is so good. Naoko is so cool and badass and scary. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I love it. So, yeah, it's a weird wreck. I mean, you know, you can't really find this in North America. I highly doubt anyone will want to touch this series because of the controversy. But if it ever does come stateside, yeah, you know, spend the 10 or 11 bucks, or if you just want to look at the, you know, glorious artwork like I do, yeah, import the French version, or like maybe you can find the Japanese volume for like 12 bucks or 10 bucks. It's worth it. It's worth it. Just, you know, just for, again, looking at Sama Taniguchi's artwork. But yeah, this was cool. Let me know if you want to see more. Do you want me to review more volumes of Pumpkin Knight? I can try and find some more in French or whatever. Or let me know if you want to know, you know, any other weird or crazy or effed up, you know, manga series that I happen to own. I'd be happy to do more of these videos in the future. So yeah, see ya.